Welcome back, viewers. Today on the show, I have a very interesting personality. She is a scientist by profession and a writer by passion. Let's welcome Dr. Trupti Jamalpure-Sharma, who is going to be here with us and going to tell us how to follow our passion. Trupti, we have been seeing you posting a lot of short stories on Facebook, but we were amazed and surprised to see when you published your first book, Stories of the Soil. I have the copy of the book here on
Oh,
me. And guys, this is a very good read. And today we're going to talk about how she became a writer while she was still a very accomplished scientist.
okay. Thank you.
So,
Thank
yes,
you for this very sweet
absolutely.
introduction.
And Trupti, can you please go ahead and tell us about your background?
Yeah, sure. Well, a very warm wishes, warm greetings to all the viewers, and thank you, Trupti, for the very sweet introduction. And it's a very nice way to connect with you all. I am from Solapur, and Trupti and I actually belong to the same place. We have been to the same school. I don't remember seeing Trupti, or Trupti doesn't remember seeing me in the school. I don't know. I don't remember that, but yes, I do remember Trupti from my NCL days. So I did my PhD from National Chemical Laboratory in biochemistry, and it was a very good experience doing your PhD in a very well-established, prestigious institute, a CSIR institute, and that taught me a lot about science. And I then followed by my PhD. I did a 3 years of postdoctoral research assistantship at University of Bath in United Kingdom, and that was again an interdisciplinary project between the biology and the civil engineering department. So I was working on bacteria that produce calcite, that precipitate limestone, and how that can be incorporated, how those entities can be incorporated into the construction material, and self-healing concrete can be developed. So the research is still going on, and I was part of the preliminary research tenure for 3 years. After that, I came back to India, and since then I have been finding my foot, kind of my way towards what is my passion. But reading, apart from science, reading has always been very dear to me. And be it my school library or any other libraries, I give a lot of credit to them. And yes, I never thought I would write a book, but it's very interesting that my journey from we lived in Bristol in United Kingdom, and my university was in Bath, so it was about an hour journey every day. Our journey to the university, and 1 hour back home, so 2.5 hours. And then in my last year of postdoc, I used to spend a lot of time on the bus, in the train, and these are the times when you don't really want to think of science. You're longing to go back home or something like that. You're thinking about what to cook, and you're dying to see your baby who's at home and all that. So I started writing on my phone. I started just writing stories on my phone and started saving them. And this is how Stories of Soil happened. So it happened on the bus, it happened on the train. And it was very interesting. I never thought I would publish it. Eventually, when I came back to India, I had a break in between. I did not take up any job. So I thought, why not explore this possibility? And this is entirely a self exercise, because I used Ginger and Grammarly tools which were available, and I did my own, self editing, proofreading, though they are not the best. I mean, there are a lot of flaws in the book. My friends have been very generous enough to read and applaud and give lovely inputs, but still, there have been some, uh, I would say, some loopholes in terms of creative writing. So, but it has been a good journey.
That's an excellent and a very intriguing kind of path which you have followed till today. And it's really amazing to know that a scientist can also come up with something that is very heart touching to common man and just not sticks to something very nerdy all the time. So We really love the book, honestly. We don't care about a few editing mistakes here and there. That is all, there are always going to be. But we really love the book, and I have asked a lot of my friends to read it, and they have also done that, and I have also gotten good feedback from them. So it was a great thing to, a great experience. And when you know that somebody very close to you is doing it, hey, I mean, that's a very cool experience.
Cool
I
experience,
can
yes.
say I know a writer of the book so personally.
Yeah. So I
So,
mean, it not necessarily be your best. You know, you wouldn't
sure,
win many awards, or you
sure.
wouldn't be recognized. I think after writing a book, it's been 2 years, and I'm first time talking to someone on a video call about my book. I mean, there were no interviews or anything. I mean, I never imagined any flashy sort of a launch for my book. But it's about what you feel. It's about putting across. It's about now I feel good that my work is out there and people know, and I feel very happy about it. That's more important.
That's important. Yeah.
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 And how would I, sorry, please go ahead.
You just need to have the feeling of self content when
Yes.
you do something and you feel accomplished for it. And you
Yes,
really don't care about the materialistic rewards that come your way. But this itself
exactly.
is very rewarding.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, a little bit of correlation definitely is there, because when you are into research, you have to read a lot. I mean, a lot of papers related to your work. You write your thesis, you write your papers, you write your proposals, and all of that. So definitely, there's a lot of correlation between a scientist or a researcher and writing and reading.
Right.
So somewhere, I guess this sort of a deep research has definitely helped me writing a book, and that book also has helped me come back to science. So it's kind of very correlative, I would say. So recently, I have been awarded the DBT Women Biocare grant, which is a Department of Biotechnology grant, where I get to be a independent project leader. And it's sort of it falls under the Women Scientist scheme by DBT. So that was my first independent proposal that I wrote for DBT. And I realized that, yes, I have come a long way. I remembered how I wrote my thesis. I remembered how I wrote my publication during my postdoctoral experience. And now how am I writing my proposal? So there's been this, it's a learning curve. But I can very well say that this has helped me to write a book, and my book has helped me to come back and write a proposal as well. So it's a never ending process.
That's terrific on your grant, and heartiest congratulations to you on
Yeah, thank
that.
you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Though
But
it's
because of
a,
the pandemic, I don't know when do I expect my grant to
yeah,
come through. But yeah,
yeah,
it's there.
yeah. Everything will fall in place, we hope.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So tell us in short about your first story on the mobile phone and your first book. I mean,
Okay, as I said, it all started on the bus. So what I wrote in before I actually wrote stories for my book, I started writing short stories on Facebook, and that kind of got an overwhelming response. Probably also because people always saw at me as a science student and never expected me
yes.
writing anything like this. So that it was like an overwhelming response, and I really liked it, and I thought that okay, I can go ahead and think about it. And as I said, if you want to write, you have to read a lot. Reading has to be there on the list, whether it be science, whether it be anything else you want to write or you want to talk. Unless and until you read, you have that background thorough. You can't go ahead. So my first story, I don't know, I don't remember my first story, but the book happened on the bus. That's what I clearly remember. And I would give a lot of credit to my bus service, the Western service that I used to use, and the Western Railways, the trains that I used to use to travel my university. Amazing. I mean, I still remember those days when I used to sit and, with my mobile in my hand, typing and all that stuff. So, yeah, those are the memories. Yeah.
That's cool. So, um, my question was going to be like if you becoming a writer is anyway related or connected to the scientific background you have, but you clearly answered that
Yes.
like it is very closely related,
Related.
and
Yes.
you should definitely know which bits and pieces to pick up to become something different than what you're doing regularly.
Yeah. So what I realized in this process, maybe it's too late, but we all realize some things. in our career or evolving as a a person. I realized that it's very important to know what are your strong points when you do your PhD or when you do a postdoc or when you are pursuing a career. There are times when you get into research and you realize that, oh, research is not my cup of tea, but something associated to research can be done by me. For example, writing. That's one of the areas which is less explored by many people. We have this very convenient way of looking at a PhD, that you do a PhD, then you have a pattern, you do follow a postdoc, maybe another postdoc, and then go for a job, go into academia. But not everybody can make there. It doesn't mean that you don't have the capacity or the capability to go there, but it just doesn't fall in place for some people. I think I am also one of them. I also love teaching. I What I realized is my strong point is communication. I like to communicate, whether it be in the form of writing, whether it be in the form of teaching. So after my postdocs, I have taken up few positions. I have taught masters, I have taught undergraduates, and I do that now as well. So I have been called for visiting guest lecturerships, and I do that, and I really enjoy that because that gives me an opportunity to communicate with the students. And being a student, at that point of time, I realized that nobody came up to me and told me that this is the thing that you have to do. There's no, nobody tells you all that thing. But I do share that experience with my students. And if you think that if you can write well, and if you think that you can communicate well, then why not explore this side?
Right.
And editing, for example, it's a good area. You need good people editing your paper or material and make it crisper and make it more presentable, and that can reach to many other people. If you see many papers, or if you remember, I remember while we wrote our first papers, what were we going through basically. And there's a lot of prejudice that you'll be judged by your boss, or you'll be judged by the readers. You kind of sit judging yourself too much in that, and a lot of overthinking goes into it. But the problem is that nobody teaches you how to do it. It's a self-learning thing. So I would, for all those PhD, the students who are pursuing PhD or want to pursue PhD, probably it's very good to realize what are your strong points in the first place. Are you a problem solver? Are you a problem creator? I mean, can you define a problem? Can you write up a proposal? Then definitely you can be a scientist. If you are if you have a very good rational approach to find a solution towards a problem, then definitely you can be a very good R&D person, trying various experiments and getting out a solution. But if you are somebody who writes well, who communicates well, then you can always think about finding that particular domain in science. You don't need to come out of science. You can be still in science and you can find that domain. It might take a while, but I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, so it's never too late. You can always try your foot in
Yes.
different areas to know what your
Yes.
strengths are, your skill sets are, and you can expand your horizon through those skill sets.
Agreed. Yes, yes. So even now, I mean, in this time, there are a lot of courses online. I'm taking one of the courses by Stanford where it is about writing in sciences. So I mean, I still want to come. I am basically a science person. I will never leave science and go, but I would still like to explore some things out of science. But I'll still come back to science. And writing is something very important.
Sure. Yeah. So, what is your take home message to my audience
I would say
about
don't.
following their passion or something?
Yeah. You know what, Trupti, it's a very individual thing. I mean, it's a lot to do with the way you have been brought up and the way you have been made to feel about yourself. That's a very important thing in your upbringing. I would say, everybody is entitled to judgment. Let them judge. Don't judge yourself. Don't overthink about anything. There are a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of potential in you. Unless and until you're near and dear ones, something that they say should matter to you and nothing else should matter to you, and you should follow a passion. Don't leave your passion halfway. But definitely we are living in a world where we need food to survive, we need money to survive, so there has to be a balance. So after doing a PhD and after doing a lot of other things, you wouldn't quit entirely everything and go back to your passion. That needs a lot of daring and a lot of courage, I would say. But don't leave your passion. There will be a point where you can pick it up. So if you get that opportunity, you must pick it up.
I love the way you put it. You definitely have to carry forward with your passion, but at the same time, you need to have a balance between your life where you don't thoroughly go down under to get something and then lose on everything. So,
Yes.
definitely, balance is an important point here.
Yes.
So, with that, guys, I'm also going to recommend you all again to read her book. It is available on Amazon and it can reach to any country you are in. And with that, I would like to thank you again for all this effort and time you took for us and helped us the, to know how important it is to still follow the passion with a right balance. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so.
Trupti, for being with us today. And viewers, please follow my channel. Keep watching such inspiring and motivational videos. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Thank you very much, viewers.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate.
Thank you.